First at 6, multiple protests are expected today all across our region for International Workers' Day, including one right here, Pioneer Courthouse Square. We spoke to police about how they're preparing.
Also this hour, we're hearing from a Portland mom who says she chased down a man and punched him in the face after he took her daughter right outside their home.
What if I'd been like a minute or two too late?
More details coming up about the suspect who police say is still on the loose.
And the perfect place for cat lovers is closing its doors. Why the Southwest Portland thrift shop is shutting down for good. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. I'm actually fighting off a sneeze right here. I didn't know.
Go. Look at the light. Look at the light. Look at the light.
Cover your mic.
No?
No, it's not working.
Oh.
I think it died.
His sneezes are legendary, just so you know.
Yeah, no,
they will wake up everybody in the neighborhood.
It will rattle TV screens for sure. Yes. All right, enough of that. How about we get to Rod and Chris? A May Day forecast, please, Mr. Rod.
Really, no sneeze yet, but I was kind of looking forward to it after all the talk. Here's a look at our Wells Fargo camera. Right there's the rising sun starting to pop up. 47 degrees is the number outside. So I'm sure you're aware by now it's going to be a sunny, very warm day. But if you're going to be spending some time outdoors in the next several hours, realize it's not a warm start. 39 in Sherwood, 38 in Battleground, 41 in Tiger, and 41 in Kaiser, and 41 in Salem. Now by lunchtime, eating outdoors maybe. Temperatures will be around 70. Later today, it will be very summer-like indeed with a high of 85. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. Let's get you out the door. Got a little bit of trouble right now in Marion County in the Salem area. I-5 northbound, ODOT reporting a crash near milepost 253. So that's just south of the Highway 22 on-ramp. One lane blocked, but obviously still fairly light volume out there across the freeway system. We're getting around okay in the metro area. This is Interstate 84, the Banfield out near Providence Medical Center. Headlights in that shot. That's the eastbound commute. We are rolling right along there. Door number 3 takes us over to Gresham, and you can see traffic still pretty smooth out there. Guys, no major trouble out there just yet.
Thank you, Chris. Rallies and protests are set to begin later today in cities across the area for International Workers' Day, also called May Day.
Portland police say they know that is about a handful of planned events. They also say they're ready to respond. So Sunrise reporter Ashley Grams is covering this story for us live at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Ashley, we know one of those events is happening right there at the square.
Yeah, Drew, China, good morning. We talked with Portland police yesterday, and while they don't know exactly how many people are planning to join these rallies, they say if it's anything like the protests that have happened lately in downtown Portland, it could be thousands of people. The most recent rally that happened downtown was in protest of the Trump administration. This is video from that protest about 2 weeks ago. Some of the same groups that put that rally on are organizing these May Day events. Both PBOT and Portland police tell us that none of these marches have permits, but police say they are aware of them and prepared.
For any large event like this, we always have dedicated resources for those, and so you're going to see dialogue officers out there trying to work with folks and negotiate and build social contracts to ensure that we've got safe facilitation of whatever route they're choosing. Right now, we don't know what those routes are.
So you just heard about that rally planned here in Portland. There's also events planned in Vancouver and Salem. I believe we have those details on your screen right now. There are also events planned in other cities around the metro area. We have more details about those on our website, kgw.com, for those of you who are either trying to avoid the crowds or for those of you who want to learn more about the protest. Guys.
Thank you, Ashley. A vote in the Senate to block the president's tariffs failed to pass. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden introduced the resolution, which aimed to end the president's national emergency declaration. 3 Republicans voted with Democrats on resolution, though 1 Democrat and 1 Republican didn't show up for the vote. So the vice president stepping in to break that tie. The measure was unlikely to make it through the GOP-controlled House. The White House also said that the president would have vetoed it.
Governor Kotek signed a pair of bills into law this week that aim to improve student literacy in Oregon. These bills provide funding to districts for summer learning grants for the next 3 summers and will also set aside $70 million every 2 years beyond that. The governor says the benefits will go beyond improved reading skills.
What summer shows us is when students are learning and feel engaged and really feel successful, and that's what summer learning programs are good at, that they show up in school at higher numbers.
The governor also acknowledged Oregon still has a long way to go when it comes to improving reading and math scores, saying that these bills are just a piece of the puzzle.
College tuition in Oregon is going up again. Increases have been approved for 6 of the state's 7 public universities for the next academic year. At Oregon State, it's going up more than 5%, 3.25% at the University of Oregon, and 5% at Portland State. At smaller campuses, including Oregon Tech, Southern Oregon, and Western Oregon, tuition is going up at least 4%. Eastern Oregon hasn't set tuition yet, but says it will be increasing.
Oregon's special election is less than 3 weeks away, coming up on May 20th. Ballots went out in the mail already, so if you're registered, you should receive yours by next Thursday at the latest. Again, the deadline to fill it out and either drop it off or mail it in is Tuesday, May 20th. This is an off year, so you can expect a lot of school board races, levies, and bonds on this ballot. Results will be certified on June 16th.
House Republicans have countered Democrats' budget proposal for Oregon's transportation agency, suggesting $730 million in cuts. Lawmakers introduced a first draft yesterday. Now, some of the things facing cuts include the Transportation Improvement Fund, multiple bicycle and public transportation programs, and passenger rail. The proposal would also trim down ODOT's unfilled positions and unused office space in Salem. Democrats say that they plan to introduce a version of their transportation bill in the coming weeks.
All right, some money news this morning. The Commerce Department announced the country's economy shrank 0.3% during the first quarter of this year. And recent surveys also show that consumer confidence is down right now. Payroll processor ADP reported 62,000 new jobs were added in April, but that number is well below what was estimated. And as China just mentioned a few minutes ago, Senate Republicans voted down a resolution yesterday that aimed to block tariffs issued by President Trump. All right, quick break from the news headlines. And before we get to Rod's forecast, we're checking this out. Farmfest at the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center in McMinnville. We got some goat milking going on. We're milking a goat, China, live on TV. You don't get that everywhere.
No.
But you get it right here.
No, you don't.
It's a fake goat, by the way.
Oh, I was going to say, why does it have 2 heads?
Why is it not moving?
I was like, my contacts have got to be updated.
A goat completely unfazed by the milking process. The milker is real. That's
Wait.
Heather.
There's stuff actually coming out of it.
So yeah, it's like they use this as a learning tool for kids during school groups. So they don't use an actual goat every time, but they've got it's set up in there. There's milk inside that fake goat that comes out when you squeeze the udders. The udders. What about the other udders? Farmfest is happening this weekend. Really, the main event, if you will. The signature draw is the largest draft horse plowing competition on the West Coast. It also happens during Farmfest Saturday, 10 to 4. You can find more info at yamhillcountyhistory.org. Have you ever milked an animal of any kind, Rod?
Yes.
Which kind?
Cow.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're a cow milker.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Have I? Yes. Well, you did it in front of me. Did I actually reach over and do it too?
No.
No. So I never have. But China did milk a cow during a What to Do with China and Drew segment. That one was in Canby.
Yeah, and you were supposed to do it, and I said, no shot am I doing it, and then I ended up doing it. So 2 of the 3 here.
We've done it.
And while we're doing all this yapping, look at Heather over there. Heather's still working. She said enough with the cow
Making
milk.
butter? What's she doing now?
Yeah, she's churning butter.
Yeah.
She's churning dreams into
Wait,
butter.
no, I think she just put heavy whipping cream in that thing.
Well, wait a minute.
That's going to turn into butter, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it's still going
does?
to turn into butter.
You think she put butter in there to turn it into butter?
I thought the whipping cream turns into like whipped cream or icing.
Let me,
I don't know it turned into
I don't
butter.
know. I don't know all the ingredients involved in the butter. I'm sure Heather's muscles have a lot to do with it. Look at Heather go.
Look at Heather go. You guys about done?
I don't know. Can we just keep Heather up while you do your weather?
I'm sitting in my chair. Here's a look at our.
I thought you were standing up.
Well, I was. But I got tired. There's the Snickwins Casino Resort camera. 41 degrees. The story today is all about the clear skies. Here's our Chehalem tasting room camera out in Sherwood. And here's Persimmon Golf Club out in Gresham looking at Mount Hood. We have light winds. We have clear skies. It's a cool morning. We're in the 40s, but the warm-up will be rapid. This takes us near 70 at noon and 73 at 1 o'clock. And then we'll get into the mid-80s by into the 80s, I meant to say, by mid-afternoon. And maybe as warm as 85 today. So every drive is clear this morning. Our Astoria column camera, where it's 41, is showing a fog bank that's rolled in along the Columbia. But that's it. I can't find any other clouds. Forecast highs today. 80s out in the gorge. There's the Dalles 82 at 5 o'clock. Kelso, Portland in the 80s. Madras and Bend will be close to it, if not reaching 80 for high. And we have 70s out east. So everybody is getting into the warming weather. Temperatures at the beach generally will be in the 60s to maybe even getting close to 70 in a few spots. 85 in Portland on the first day of May. Today's record is 89. 85 will become, assuming we make it, the warmest day of the year. So far, we've only been up to 82. I say only. 75 tomorrow. Tomorrow we cloud up a little bit. If you have plans late tomorrow evening, there's at least a threat of some scattered shower activity. If you're traveling over the Cascades tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, we think there could be some thunderstorms. That shower chance lingers into Saturday, but Sunday right now looks to be dry. And that is your forecast.